okay, I'm going to record a demonstration fully walking through the postcard project from start to finish for you right now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off this camera link so you don't see me and just let you watch my screen. How do I do that? Okay, so here we go. First thing you need to know is we are in the project. This is the project, and I need to download this file, which is linked right here. It is a .gv design file extension file that only can be opened in Gravit Design. So I'm going to click on it, and it'll download directly to my computer. I'm going to save it. So I'm going to go to the downloads folder, and I'm going to save that file by putting it into my Postcard for a Cause project folder, which I've already set up on my desktop. Yeah, I already had one there, so we'll just put it there. So now I know where it is. If you're working on a Chromebook, it'll download to your drive, and then you have to grab it from your drive. So let me go to Gravit Designer, and I'm going to open that file in Gravit Designer. So I'm going to say open from computer, and I'm going to open that file right there. Click open. There's the file. Got a lot of stuff on it, okay? Before I get into this file, I want to show you what I did to kind of set myself up for my work. Inside this folder for project or Postcard for a Cause, I also have my sketches. I could have my sketchbook handy here, but I have a kind of a small desk space, so I needed to be able to look at it right here. And I think I'm going to go with kind of a combination of these two ideas. I like the simplicity of this one right here, but I also like the big boldness of the word vote. And instead of don't forget, it might say something like, are you registered? Because my whole thing is about reminding people to register to vote in time for the election. So I'm going to just keep that kind of tucked away over here. Close that. In addition to that, I did some other research by searching up some information online for how to register to vote. And I made a Google document for myself that I keep in my Studio 903 folders with the relevant information that I found through my search and put it right here. So it's like, okay, this is the stuff that I kind of want to pull from to put onto my card, right? I want people to know that California offers voter registration online. Here's the website that I want to use. These are key dates. Election day is this date. Registration deadlines, woo, they're coming up October 19th, right? Absentee ballot deadlines, early voting, additional information. You can also register and vote on election day. This is the key stuff that I want to include on my postcard. So I have this ready and waiting for me. I don't think that I can copy and paste it into Gravit Designer, but at least I can have it. Maybe I'll just put it off to the side like this as well, so that I have it and as a reference can refer to it very quickly. Let me close out of that. Yep. Okay, so I've got it over there and I can look at it real quick if I need to. So let's close out of the assignment now because I don't need that anymore. I don't need this anymore. And I'm going to leave my Spark open because at the end of this, I'm going to show you how to get on the Spark. Let's go over to Gravit Design where I already opened up this template file. And I'm going to turn some stuff off right now like I showed you in class today because it's distracting while I'm building my design. I don't need to see all this. I just need the open space now. So I'm going to page 1. To the template front, and I'm going to turn off the text that's on the permit area, and I'm going to the mailing panel, and I'm going to turn off the measurements and the text that's on the mailing panel. And then I'm going to go to the safety margin and trim, and I'm going to turn off, that's the trim line. I can turn that off. Let me name it. I'm going to double click it and call it trim. And this one is the bleed. Double click it, double click, bleed. I'm going to turn off all this text. Don't need to see all that. I'm going to leave the trim and the bleed on for right now. And it's because I'm going to have to create like a little additional margin between the edge of the page and the mailing panel. So that's why I want to leave this trim line on for now. I can actually do the same thing on the back of the card. I'm going to hold down the spacebar key right now, which will activate the hand tool for me. That's this tool up here. Hand tool. You can hold down spacebar and just drag and pan over to the next page. So on this one, page 2, I'm going to do the same thing here. This one is the trim. This one is the bleed. And I'm going to turn off all my text over here. Just to get rid of that stuff so it's not in my way. Okay, and this would be where I designed my My design is going on this layer. That doesn't have anything in it yet. Oh, I need to turn that other thing off. I left that one random path on of the arrow. Okay. All right, guys, now I feel like I'm in a place where I can get to work, and I'm going to save it to the cloud first. Save to cloud as, so I can name it my name. I'm going to call this P underscore, just like I did with a sample poster. I'm going to call this one sample postcard. Okay, and click save. And then probably later I'll download it to my computer. Get rid of all these right now. All right, let's start building this thing. So on the front of my design, I'm looking back at my sketch. I kind of want to have a separation between the mailing panel and the other stuff. And I think I'm going to put a solid color back here. And the date for me is really important because it's election day. So I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle on this layer, the builder design layer. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, and I'm going to take that rectangle all the way out to the bleed line into about right here where the mailing panel starts. And I'm going to, the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to put a solid color behind that. I'm not going to actually make the whole entire background of the page a color because it won't go all the way to the bleed. And I also, you know, I don't want color on the whole thing. I want there to be a bleed, and I want color on this side so I can separate the information over here from the mailing panel. So I've also in my mind, I've chosen that I'm going to go with like a muted red, white, and blue color palette. So I'm going to go to the fills over here on the inspector panel, and I'm going to choose like this blue. It's a little bit more gray, so maybe like baby blue. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now, I want you to see something. So here's the edge of my page, and you can see that the edge of my page, I have like a little bit of a distance between the margins. So I kind of want a little buffer zone between the mailing panel and that too. I want to give myself another margin. So I'm going to drag out a guide that goes to about right here. So if I highlight on this, you can see that I've got a margin that's, you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to move that, that trim line up here so you can see it above, okay? So say this is the edge of the page. That's my margin on the left side and on the top and on the bottom. I need to give myself a guide for another margin right here to separate it from the mailing panel a little bit. That's just for me to kind of keep a buffer zone on either side, okay? I'm going to turn that rectangle off eventually, but there it is for right now. So what I want to do is create a text box, and I'm going to make a text box on the Build Your Design layer. And I'm going to draw the size of the margin that I created. These guys need to go in here too, that rectangle. Okay, now on that text layer, that's where I want to start putting some information. So I think I want like the list of the important dates to be here so that the other side of the card can just be really like a big graphic that says, are you registered to vote, with maybe some of this other information. So election day is November 3rd. That can go on the other side too. Registration deadlines. So I don't think I can copy Command C and paste it right into here. It doesn't let me do that. So I'm going to have to kind of retype. So let me just make that a little bit smaller. Make this bigger. So here we go. Let me type in there, registration deadlines. And online, October, we're going to make this simple, 10/19. Maybe I'm going to stylize it and do my dates like that. I might also come back to this and take some of these things out, like the colons and stuff, just to make it a little easier to read. I'm going to check that out in a second. So, okay, so I typed all that information in, you guys, and it's a lot of information. So I'm going to be looking for ways to make this simple and make it consistent and easy to read. I actually am using this decimal point thing as a date, and I don't think it's a good idea. I think it makes it too hard to read. It's confusing. It looks like something else, like math. So I'm going to think about that. But I am going to start to format this text. And I think that like my titles need to be bigger, early voting, like this stuff needs to be bigger. And all of this, this whole text box, I need the whole thing to be slightly smaller. because it needs to fit right here. So I'm going to select all of this text in here. Let's see, select all of that text, and I'm going to reduce the size from 20 points down to probably 14. Let's see how that works. I'm going to format this text a little bit, so I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to do some formatting, and then I'll come back to it. Here I am, I've typed in the information, and I'm using some techniques and tricks that I know to kind of help with the hierarchy of information. So I'm using some lowercase, some all capitals. I got to move this over a little bit here. I've got this stuff tabbed over. I'm using the tab button to align all that text. See if that will work here. Tab, 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 tab. So it's even. This one's got extra space. I want that to line up properly. E is too big. So basically I'm taking my time right here to format all this stuff so that there's like some sense of alignment and organization. And then I'm going to really get into the nitty-gritty of the type. We'll say that now everything's a little bit too spread apart. So I need to change up my line spacing a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of this stuff in here and go over to my line spacing, which is at 100%. And I think I just want to dial it down a little bit. And as I'm dialing it down here, you can see it's shifting inside my text box. So I'm going to dial it way down, way down, way down, way down. There we go. And that's better for me. I do want the words registration deadlines. I want absentee ballot deadlines. I want that to fit on one line. So I'm going to maybe take this font size down by 1 point. There we go. To 13. Nope. Stay at 13. Setting text in Gravit Designer is not my favorite. It's a little counterintuitive to what I'm already familiar with. That's okay. I just need to be open to thinking flexibly because it's different than what I'm used to. Okay. So I also haven't even changed this font. I'm using Open Sans for everything. So I'm going to actually look into this font right here. Let's go to what I can do. Nuito is nice. I need something that's going to read really well. Open Sans isn't bad at all, actually. But this is kind of cool. Oswald's nice, although it's a little bit narrow, so it might be hard to read. Oxygen's nice. Yeah, I like that. And then actually that font is a little bit smaller, so I might be able to make my text size a little bit bigger. If I could just go to 13 points. I can, and it will fit. So 13 points is what it is. Okay, so all of these headlines right here, they're all 13 points. And then this stuff down here is 11 points, but I'm going to make these words bold. I might actually even change the color of them at some point. Let's see. I don't like that that's not even right there. Bold. Okay, now I'm going to click off that. I'm going to move this box down slightly because then I get that flush against the margin, and then I can have I can put more text up here. So I think I need another big text box over here that says something like election day is November 3rd. Or I think maybe for my big headlines, I'll pick something else. Passion one was good. So it's a little bit funky. Yeah, that's kind of okay. So election day is November 3rd. Change the line spacing on this as well to make it a little bit tighter. It's too tight. I made it 50%. I'm going to make it. There we go. And maybe look at this font one more time and see if there's something bigger and brighter. Ultra. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller so it fits. Election day is November 3rd, and I'm going to reduce that line size even further to 55. Okay, so I'm going to put a statement up here that says another text box. I want another text box right here. Are you not registered? And what is this font? Paytone 1? What is this called? This is called Ultra, so we'll make sure that this is Ultra as well, not Paytone 1. We'll search for Ultra. And what size is this font right here? That's 23, so we'll keep this 23. Make it a little bit consistent so we're not using too many different sizes. 23. Okay, and then I'm going to tighten up the line spacing in here and this other, let me move this out of the way for a second. Move that out of the way. I'm going to tighten up the line spacing in here. It's at 92, but I'm going to go smaller. Just going to scroll down. I'm scrolling. Okay, and then I can make this box smaller. Then I can put this guy right here. Okay, I want to think about color here for a second. So, I think I want this to be like a dark blue. Remember I said I was going to go red, white, and blue? So this, I'm going to choose a darker blue. I'm going to start with that shade I had and then drag down in the value for it. And then I'm going to, I think I want to use the same color there. So I'm going to select this text and I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool and grab that same color. Nope. I got to grab that color. There we go. Are you registered? Okay, and then for these headlines, I think I want to, maybe I'll make those white. Okay, so this is what I decided. I want all the text to be in blue except for these headlines, and I just realized that I've got vote early and the date underneath it, but I could say vote early, October 5th through November 2nd. I could say all of that on one line, which then will allow me to put visit register to vote .ca.gov for dates and hours by zip code on its own, and then I can kind of move all of this down a little bit. That works, okay? So I think I'm almost done with this panel, except I think I want to put like a couple of white stars or red stripes or something like that behind here, maybe screen them back. So I'm going to make a couple of shapes. Okay, so I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to make a couple of stars. Wait, where is it? Where's my star tool? There we go, star. And there's a star right there. And I'm going to kind of position it. I want it to be, actually the gray is kind of nice, but maybe take down the opacity a little bit. That doesn't really work when it's overlapping those two things. I think it works better like that. And then maybe over here, I got to get it behind the text though. So it's up here, it needs to be behind that text. Let's see. I'm going to lock this text box right now so that I don't keep getting interrupted by it. So here, I'm going to take this one down slightly, and I'm going to click Option and drag to make a couple more of them over here, maybe a little bit bigger. This one could be big and going off the page. And this one can go over here. bit smaller. Let's take down that a little bit. And I do want a couple of like red stripes back here. I'm going to draw stripes using the line segment tool. So I'm going to draw one stripe right there. I want the border on it to be 20 points. Nice and thick. And then I want the line to be red, but I'm going to make it muted. So I'm going to drag it over here. I'm going to make it a pinkish mauve color. There we go. I'm going to just make a few of these right now. So I'm going to click on this, click on it with the selection tool. I got too many things unlocked, so hold on a second. I got to lock this template layer. Okay. Click on the line, and I'm going to option click to drag out a couple of copies. I don't want to get too far into that panel. I'm going to delete that other one. This one needs to go, it needs to be longer, this line segment, because it needs to go back behind here. This needs to go back behind here. And this one needs to go back behind here. Okay. Command G, does that group them? Yeah, Command G group them. So now they're one unit. Are they? Yes, they are grouped. There we go. And these are my stripes. I'm gonna stop every now and then and make sense of my layers over here. These are my stars. I've got, let's put the stars behind the text. I'm gonna make a group from these stars. So polygon, 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 holding shift to select all of them. In the layers panel, let me do that. And I'm going to right click and say group the selection, and these are gonna be my stars. And then this text will just, is fine where it is, but I need the stripes to be behind the rectangle. So if I'm thinking about the order of things, these stripes, I want them to be behind this blue and behind the stars. So I'm going to take them down and drag them all the way back here, and now they're behind everything. Yay! This one's going behind the mailing panel, but I can't really design anything in that area, so I need to sub-select, and I need to make it stop like right there. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit and see if I want it to cut off right there. I just want to vectorize the path. Vectorize the border. That's what I'm going to do. Vectorize border, and it makes it a shape. So now it's a shape. And now that I have that shape, I can actually move these individually to where I want them to be. I can actually even delete this one. So I'm going to go over with the pen tool and hover over. Well, I got to select this thing first. Select the thing, go to the pen tool, hover over this, get rid of that. Did you see what I just did? Watch it again. I selected the object, I went over to the pen tool, and I hovered over the points that I wanted to delete. Okay, so that way I can get the shape right exactly as I want, right up against the area that I want it. Okay, and I can actually do that over here as well because I converted that line to a path, to an outline. So let's see, I'm going to do that here. Here. And I'm going to go to the pen tool and hover over this and get rid of it, and hover over this and get rid of it. And now it goes to right there. I might need to just drag this open slightly just to make sure it's hidden there. Ooh, I got it right on the corner of that middle panel. So I do need to avoid that middle panel. Let's add a point right here. And add a point right here. And let's delete this one. Yeah, that worked well. Okay, so scrolling back out, I think I'm going to be okay with this panel as it is right now. So that's what I'm going to stay with for that panel. I'm going to save my work again, and then I'm going to move over to the other panel. I got to get off that tool though, because it's going to start making random things. Okay, so I just clicked save. My work is saved. Okay. I think I need one more red stripe up here. I'm going to actually outline these two because this one is still like a stroke. It's still a border. And this one is a shape now. So I'm going to turn this stripe and this stripe into shapes by going over to Modify, to Path, to create a vectorized border. So it vectorizes it. Now it's a shape instead of a single path. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Modify, Path, Vectorize Border. Okay. And now I'm going to click Option and drag on this one right here. Let's go to the pointer tool. I need to ungroup these for a second. Okay, the best thing to do is to option click on it and drag out another copy, which is what I'm doing right now. Now I have 4 stripes. I feel like that's a little bit more even. This one can come down a little bit. I want them to be kind of equally spaced. Okay, I'm going to save the work right now again, and I'm going to move over to the other side. And I'm just going to look at my reference image real quick. Remember, so this is the front design, and then this is the back. I want the word vote to be really big and like don't forget or are you registered, something like that. And then I think I'm also going to put this information right here. California offers voter registration online, by mail, and in person. And then I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to repeat that website again. Okay. So I'm going to just type that text in right now so I have it over here. That way I don't lose it. I'm on the back. I'm on Build Your Own Design. I'm on Type. Here we go. And this is the text I want. Oops. I need to make this bigger. All right, so I'm going to type in here, California. I took this information over here, guys, and I typed it in. It's not in the right font or everything now, but at least I have the text over there. California offers voter registration, blah, blah, blah. Register to vote online, register to vote.ca.gov. I simplified that text a lot, okay? So I'm going to change this. This one big long sentence is too long. It's very too long. We said this font size is, I think it's 23 over here, so I want this stuff over here to be at least 23. And this typeface over here, I believe, was 13, and it's Oxygen, so I'm going to actually use that same font for this part right here where it says California offers. So I'm just trying to create a sense of unity between the front and the back. So this one's going to be Oxygen. And I think I had it bold. And it was only 13 points on the other side. So let's see if we do that. I can see already that I spelled the word registration wrong, so I'm going to fix that. Offers voter registration online, by mail, and in person. Looks like at 100. Much better. It's even over here. And then I'm actually going to change all this color to this color that's over here, this blue that we like already. And let me zoom out so I can see this whole page. And I just want to point out that on the front page, I've got stuff aligned on the left, and then I have this nice and centered and equally distanced above the mail panel. Let's turn that mail panel back on so you can see it. Stripes. There we go. And then on this side, I'm going to think about my alignment. I don't know if I want it to align here, if I want it to align the other way, but I do need a giant vote. Need the word vote really, really big. So I'm going to type the word vote in all caps. I'm going to select that text, and I'm going to go super duper big and bold with it. I'm going to use that ultra font that we've been using for the other stuff, but it's going to be massive. So let's say 100 or 7. It's laggy right now. There we go, vote. And it went back to Open Sans, so I'm going to type in Ultra. Sometimes it's laggy. And remember, I'm recording with Zoom while this is all happening, so it's not happy with me right now. Hopefully you don't have such issues when you're doing it because you're not recording at the same time. All right, 100. That's a good start, but I'm going to go, like, let's try, like, 300. 300 points. That's probably too big. Let's split the difference. 200 points. That's probably closer. I think it's probably going to be more like 150. Yep. Okay. So now that I have that text there, I'm going to kind of look at it in between my margins. I'm going to rotate it. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to play with the placement of the words on the page. Get it to be like maybe right there. I'm going to change the text color to red. I'm going to use this color right here. And I think I want to create like a checkbox, like check right there. So I'm going to go to make a square. Remember, if I hold down Shift, I can constrain my proportions. I'm going to make the fill on that. Yeah, I'm going to keep that light color so it's like the stars, but I want to put a border on it. So I'm going to add a border of maybe 5 points. And I'm going to make that border the blue color that we've been using. Blue. Oh, I'm sorry, I grabbed the fill. There we go. So we've got the blue color, we've got the vote. I'm going to move this box into the corner. I gotta move this text up. There we go. Move the box. I need this box to be smaller because I don't need it that large. I'm going to grab the box, put it right here in the corner, and let me see if this will fit over here on this side. Almost. It almost fits where I want it to. So maybe I want to make this box a little bit smaller. So I'm just drawing attention to the fact that you can register to vote online. Let's go to 55. 56. 57. There we go. And I like that. I'm going to look at my layers and check what I'm doing right now. I want this vote to be on top of everything. So I've got to put it on top of everything, I think. Maybe I don't. And this needs to come down a little bit right here. I need to tighten up this line spacing. So I'm going to select everything that's in this area and I'm going to reduce the line spacing probably to like 70. Let's see, does that work? Okay, now I can move this box down here and it will fit nicely in this corner. And then I can put a check mark on it. I'm going to draw the check mark with the pen. So I'm just going to go right here. I'm going to start a line and go right here with a curve, pull out the handle, and then I'm going to stop it up there and just draw it out a little bit. And we'll stop the pen. Oops. Whoa, heck. I'm going to go to the select tool and I'm going to change the points on that on the border to like maybe 15. Yeah, that's all right. let's see if I can do some other things with the line right here. So right here, there's some line options. I'm going to make the line ends to be smooth. And yeah, that's okay, but it needs to be smaller. It's too big. It's too big. And I can sub-select to move these points around a little bit if I need to. Okay, and maybe I'll make that the same color as this red. Okay, now I don't really like the position of this word quite yet. So I'm going to make this slightly bigger, 175. Here we go. And it keeps going in front of this other stuff, so I think I don't actually want it to be in front of all of that. Let's put that. I want text to be above it. There we go. That works. Now I want to get some of this lighter blue in over here, and I'm going to go back to my other page over here on page 2, and I'm going to put this color behind all of it. So let me select from that blue over there. And look, my rectangle's on top of everything, so I got to put it at the back of everything. There we go. And this is the contrast isn't significant enough, so like I need to probably either take that blue down a little bit or take the pink down a little bit. So I'm going to take the pink down slightly. Vote. And yeah. Then I need to write the words like, are you registered? Zoom in, boom, 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 zoom in. And I'm going to give myself another text box. Actually, I'll copy this box, copy. And I'm going to go back to page 2. And I'm going to paste, Command V. So I have that box there. I use my margin. This I need to change to R. Are you ready? Are you registered? So important to vote. Many of you are not old enough to vote yet, but register to vote as soon as you turn 18. It's so important that you participate in the freedoms that you have and the right that you have to vote. Before you don't have it anymore. So register to vote. I'm going to change this line spacing to just point around at 80. I haven't selected on it though. 80. Yes. I'm going to select this. 80. This is too big, so 60. Okay. So I'm pretty pleased with how this is turning out. I'm going to just move that so that it sits on the baseline of the margin. I've got vote here. Are you ready? You know what I think I want to do? I don't like this red. I need white here. So I'm going to change this check mark to white. And then I think that might be it. Yes. Look at that. Okay. So I took down the opacity of this a little bit because I didn't want it to be so, like if it's at 100%, it's too bright. Okay. Let me just make sure that it is actually this color that's over here too. It's too much. So if I take down the opacity of it a little bit, it mellows it out and it works still on the blue. I do have some of it going off the page, and that's okay because you still know what the word vote is, right? You're not gonna not be able to read that it's the word vote. I might also just take down the opacity of the stripes on this page a little bit too, just so there's a little bit more consistency and unity from front to back. And you know what? One thing that is missing, I don't have any stars over here. So I might like take this unit of stars, or maybe 1 star, copy, and go over here back to page 2, paste, get one of them over here. It's in the wrong place. It needs to be like behind everything. Behind that. No. You put that in the wrong place. It's behind the text. It's too bright, so I'm going to take it down. Take it down. And maybe make it bigger. Maybe we'll grab one more smaller one. Put that over here. Again, I'm going to move it behind the text. And I'm going to take down the opacity quite a bit. Okay. I am pleased with where this is at. This is where I'm going to stop with my design. Let's also save it down to my computer so that I don't ever lose it and I have it again. So I'm going to download the file to my computer. And next thing I want to do is I want to turn off all of the template stuff so that it's not in my way. What's this layer? Oh, that needs to go here. Okay, what's this? This needs to go in here. Got to organize my layers a little bit here. Oh, that was my rectangle that I put behind everything. There we go. I'm going to turn off all of the template elements over here. So there's nothing on the back page with template. Then I'm going to go to page 1. And remember I had that trim up here. I'm going to put that back into the template. I have to unlock the template though first. I'm going to put the trim back into the template layer. Come on, trim, you can do it. Trim, oh, it's locked. Okay, trim, go back to the template layer. Okay, close the template layer, and I've got to get these, I'm organizing this stuff. I got my random stripes back here, put them inside the build on this layer. I'm going to put this text up here. Okay, making sure everything is in the right order. I can continue to go back through this and label these layers even more if I want to get really organized. Okay, remember, I need to take a screenshot to turn in on Canvas. And what I want to see is that you have 2 pages. I want to see layers, page 1 or page 2, wherever you have the most organized layers, okay? I'm going to, before I do this, turn off the template that's on the front. So I turn that off, and now I have empty white space. That's good. And I'm going to get my 2 pages side by side fit into my window so they're nice and big. I use that little button up here that says Fit All. I can see page 1, page 2. I'm on page 1, so I'm open to see the layers that I built over here. And then over here, I can see, if I click right onto the pasteboard, I can see the measurements and everything that I need for my file. I can also see that the file is named correctly. Yay, everything is in order. Now what I want to do is take the screenshot, Shift-Command-3 to take the whole window. So now that I've saved my screenshot, I'm going to make sure that I save my file again, because saving can't hurt. Save it down to your computer again, download the file. We've done that a couple times, so let me just go back here and make sure my downloads, I've got like so many of them, so I'm going to get rid of those. That's the one that I've been working on right here. I'm going to put it into my my postcard for cause folder. There we go. I need to export this thing. So we're going to export it as 2 individual JPEGs to put up on the Spark page, and then I'll put it up on the Spark page. So let's do this. Let's start on page 1 and go to File, Export, JPEG. We just exported page 1. Now let's go to page 2. Make sure that your template layers, everything is turned off. I turned everything off. File, Export, Export JPEG, page 2. I'm going to go over to my downloads. I'm going to just, okay, so it named them the same thing. So let's just rename them. Front. That way you can figure them out. You're not turning these into me. You're using these for your Spark page, but you should name them so that you know which is which. Let's look at them. Look how it cut it off nicely because of the bleed that I set up. And it's got a spot right here for the stamp, and the mailing panel is empty, and I can see that they're there, okay? And then here is the back of the postcard. There's the back. Nice. So even though, by the way, that we set it up for 300 DPI, I think that when it is exporting it, I think it's exporting it at a lower DPI. That's okay. That's the nature of the program right now. Don't worry too much about it. All right. So there is the other side of my postcard. I'm pretty happy with this result. Although over here, I think I need to, this isn't right. So look right here. It's like I haven't extended something to the bleed properly. So I'm going to fix that. Let me go back in here. Something's going on over here. Let's see if that works better. I'm going to export that page again. File, export, JPEG. That fixed it. It's like I didn't have the blue going all the way to the bleed. So did you see what was happening? See how there's an extra white space? That means that my blue box that was meant for the bleed didn't go all the way to the bleed, so it looks not good. Here, it's going all the way to the bleed. It works. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to check that one, and I'm going to keep this one, rename, back. I'm going to put these two things in my postcard for a cause folder on my desktop. I'm going to put my screenshot. I got two of them. This one shows my whole workspace. We'll just keep that. Move that one to the trash. Okay, so let's go over to my Spark page. Heading over to the Spark page now. We're gonna put the Spark together. Okay, postcard for a good cause. I already had started to write this thing. Postcard for a good cause. My styling and my formatting, it's all the same as everything else. Okay, I've got these for placement only guys right here. I'm going to get rid of them now because I'm going to put the real stuff there. So here's the introduction that I wrote to this project, and then I already had set a place marker for my discovery sentence, my innovation sentence, and my growth sentence. This is where you would write at least one sentence here describing what you discovered while doing the project, how you innovated, how you grew. Okay, I'm not going to write those right now, but right here, headline, introduction to the project. I've got two paragraphs because I had a lot to say about it. And then I'm going to put between my introduction and my dig reflection, I'm going to put my images right here. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to use a photo grid because I have two images that I want to go side by side. I think you should use a photo grid. Don't just use photo. Use photo grid and put these images side by side. So I'm going to click photo grid, and I'm going to upload the first photo. I'm going to pick the front, click open. It's sitting there waiting for me. Now I'm going to go to upload photo. I'm going to pick the second one, back, click open. Now I've got the two things side by side. I'm going to click save. There they are, front, left, and back, right, of my postcard for a good cause. All right, there's my Spark post. I'm going to now make sure that I update it so that it will be saved. This work will be saved and visible. So I'll click share, publish and share. I'm gonna get that lightning bolt. Bam! Zap! Let's click the update link. It's updating. It's updating. Keep the social and social media, it says. All right, this is the link I'm going to copy. Boom. I'm going to paste that link into a comment on Canvas. Let's see. Let's just go do it. Copy. Let's go to Canvas. I'm going to do this in period 1. And I'm going to pretend I'm a student. Student view. Gonna scroll back over to the module for Thursday, Friday. Here we go. Project. No, that's the wrong week. We're in not week 3. We're in week 4. Getting a little punchy, you guys. Postcard for a good cause. I moved it down to Friday for you. Click on that. Okay, what am I turning in? A screenshot. Okay, I got that sitting on my desktop. My updated Spark link. I did that. Did I put a headline and date? Yep. I wrote my paragraph? Yep. I got my JPEGs on there? Yep. 3-sentence dig reflection? Yep. Okay, all of it. Here we go. Submit assignment. The first thing I'm going to do, file upload, I'm going to choose, this is where I'm going to turn in my screenshot. Screenshot gets turned in. Why? Because Mrs. Giuliano can annotate on it if you do that. And then in the comments, that's where I'm going to Command or Control V and paste my Spark page link. I'm going to submit the assignment. If I haven't already, I'm going to read this rubric so I know how Mrs. Giuliano is going to grade me. It's taking a second to submit this thing. There we go. Yay, hooray. Guess what? I'm going to check the submission details. So I want to make sure that it works. So here I'm going to view this right here. There it is. So that's cool. I can see there's my screenshot and there's my Spark page. If I click on my Spark page, I'll go take it to a new window to just check that it works and I gave Mrs. Giuliano the right link. There it is. There is my final project. Okay. I think I showed you plenty. It's a lot. I'm going to need to go edit this video together now. So hopefully this is helpful. Let me know if it is. Good luck. Have fun. Hope you make something that's awesome for your good cause.